Well, I definitely think this is one of the few matchups that Dragon has to fear, generally with Crane. Oh, I'm just getting a little bit of feedback from the stream, so I just looked up that. So it's just I went down, but that's okay. That's totally on this end. There we go. That's now gone. Okay, so now I can't see the stream. Sorry, people, if you're there typing a question, I don't see it. But with Dragon, one of its few bad matchups is actually Crane. Crane does have a good matchup with it because it has so much attachment removal and just so many ways to deal with a big character that kind of come with it. Whereas in this case, I don't think the Crane is running the full package of things to get rid of that, but it's got the 3 let goes, it's got policy debates, so it can hit Mitsu while he's still relatively small, before his bubble shield goes up. I mean, the best one is usually the what he wants to do with his above questions. But looking at Zach's build with only 20 characters, I went through quickly, like, wow, that's pretty fast. And it's like Mitsu a go-go. It's all Mitsu all the time. Every other character in this deck is there to primarily support Mitsu. Like Asha, Swordsmith that draws attachments, Keeper just because it's a free body. The Be a Mystic because it gets rid of attachments that might bother Mitsu. After you play a tattoo attachment on a character, Redium, the Gaijitsu. Tranquil Philosopher for moving rings around to gain honor, so he dishonored out of the game. And Ichi, it's like, did you use 10 cards? Yes. Okay, break the province. Wow. I do like this Vivid Temple. That's a very spicy meatball. No, it does look like it's running all its best cards. Policy Debate, Return of the Offense, Voice of Honor. I mean, this is one deck I think this actually does favor Zach's kind of off-board twist. No, he's back again, but not for long. Well, I wouldn't say the one thing I see from seeing the deck list and looking over the Crane one. I'll be interested to see if which character the Zach picks for the Obsidian Talisman. If he picks like his own Mitsu when Mitsu hits the table, or if he decides to pick the one of the Crane characters. Because you can keep honoring him, I'll just keep removing the honor token. Yep, he has a new name. He is now Fred. Yes, he was so brash, but now that he's Fred, he's kind of growing up in the world. He's learned to talk to people. Yes. Oh yes. And now it's Team Tagashi Acolyte. Yeah, they're yep. What's his card count in this battle? I haven't been paying that close attention. So he played Oscar, another tattoo. Yep. Yeah. Well, he's that's the best thing about the Tagashi Acolytes is that they can't stack on top of each other. Well, that's his 13. That's the important one. He's probably well. It depends. I'm sure he will not waste time dropping one to get rid of anything that can really hurt him. Especially because he can draw his cards. Oh yeah, if he had it, yeah, I'm gonna probably think that it's. Oh, there's another fight Kitana. Figuring I might want to save this, especially because he's got what 2 dragon tattoos. So a single policy debate rips 3 cards. Yeah, that was kind of set up. Yeah. The thing I'm not sure of it because I don't play enough Dragon with Dragon Tattoo. Uh, if it's canceled, so if a person tries to cancel it, will the other Dragon Tattoos go off, or does it basically try to copy a blank event? Oh, okay. Yep. he moved to another battle. Yeah. Yep. Yep. And he also technically denied the Crane one Seeker fate. Yep. He's not going to buy another character. If he does, it's only going to be the Mystic to destroy an attachment, so he can still fire the secluded temple. I would probably assume that I don't believe you. I would save that for the next one. Cade by Fate first. Just a matter of efficiency. And now he's looking down at this and going, "Man, this is a bad scenario for the Crane." Up two breaks, same amount of honored characters. So basically keeps voice off the table. The Mystic is there to basically suck up one fate, like to suck up an honor loss, and then blow himself up to kill an attachment. Actually, the above question is a really high value attachment, especially because, well, that's what I mean. That the Mystic just keeps the above question off the table, makes it basically a non-play because you put it on Ichi, so you can't use him as a target. Yeah. So yep. Nope. Yeah. Do a lot of heavy lifting. No, it makes sense. Like Kwan's off, and he's only got six political total, whereas he may start lessered. But at least now, yeah, yeah, because he does have upholding in one of these provinces, and most likely Smuggler's Cove under the box. So he's thinking, if I don't want to find that by accident and like have my hand ripped apart. True, but I think if you like to be able to save that just in case of yeah. Plus, you want to save. I think this is the classic, the battle of dueling battlefields. The favorable ground versus the favorable ground. The first person to move generally gets hurt because if you attack into it and you have to use yours to back out because you hit upholding, the other player never uses his, and then you do the same thing back to you. So you force Ichi to block when he doesn't want to. Oh, Hawk Tattoo brings in Ichi. Yeah. Oh, poor Fred. Fred decides he doesn't want to get policy debated again, so Fred leaves. I can understand that. Yeah. Yeah, he's trying to get to his magic number for 5. So, I mean, this is one of the best things. I mean, the Sagashi Acolyte is so awesome by himself. Oh, yeah, the sound was really good. I'm sorry about that. Oh, oh, yeah, that's far worse. He's far more entertaining than I am. That's the third break. This has got to be making the Crane people very sad. Just giving you a second to go through that. So right now it looks like he's debating whether Kawanin is going to try to stay home and protect against the break at Smuggler's Cove, or if he's going to swing in and try to sneak in an easy break. This is one of the few times where being the first player is a disadvantage, because you're sitting back and you're going, okay, if I attack in, that's bad, but he decided to pass to get the favor. I don't think he has anything that really triggers off the favor. It's just purely a stat boost and denies the favor to Dragon, which also doesn't really care about the favor.
Okay,
The other
well,
problem with such a
see if people can actually hear me because I fear I've I've uh, I've been the one that's blocked out, which is pretty embarrassing when it's your stream. Let me just pop over and see if people can hear this second. Uh, I sound really quiet now. Okay, well at least I'm. No, I was messing with the levels because I didn't want people to get an echo um, from Brian. Um, okay, well clearly, this, and I'll take full responsibility for a bit of my Keystone Cops action here on this stream. I will get it much better for next time. Okay, so people
we will definitely figure this
let me
out
know if you
eventually.
can hear both of us now.
Oh, so now I'm looking here. The Crane is trying to build up as big a board as humanly possible. I'm not. Oh, he still has the one Corcher. That's a bonus, so he can at least send one of those attachments back and prevent any future plays. But now Big Daddy Mitsu's in play.
Yeah, well, he's looking much smaller because to his big brother Ichi here, showing him how it's done. This is how you get dressed. You put on like 18 things and go to the
Yeah,
party.
well, he's Canadian. It's layers.
That's right.
Keep you warm. It's like you don't know what the weather's going to be. So
Gowns.
yes, well, I mean, yeah. When you get to live in, I mean, that's what I miss about living in Ontario. Is you have all the seasons that make the world a fun place. Whereas out here, we really don't. We have like a very short spring and a very short fall, and summer and winter are extended length.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So the Steam Tea House that hangs up for one turn. Oh, there's the above question. But by now, considering he's down to 12 cards, I have to assume he has let go.
So we
Let's
see.
see how many won for Voice of Honor. Yep, Voice of Honor is currently live. Find Katanas to Baomitsu. Let go for the Watch Commander.
Let go on the Watch Commander. That's an interesting one. I mean, 12 cards, you could kill yourself. But at the same time, I don't know. Some of the other stuff seems a tad higher value in the battle itself. Because you're kind of fighting for your life, aren't you, on this attack, as opposed to
Yeah, so that's why I think
dishonoring in
he
the
got rid of the
future.
Watch Commander. Because if he doesn't get rid of the Watch Commander, you're running into a backdoor Mitsu victory where it's like, okay, I'm going to lose probably 4 or 5 honor this turn to just the Watch Commander.
Mm-hmm.
Now, granted, you could have just sent him back to hand with the Tea House,
I would
but
think,
you don't want him coming back turn after turn after turn anyways because your Courtier's about to leave play.
and I guess tea housing the Dragon Tattoo is painful in its own way. I just wonder where you can get the
Yes.
stats from to actually defend this.
Yeah, it looks
Complexity,
like
yeah.
he's tried to tower up on Kwannon as big as he can. This is one of the biggest pre-conflict phases I've seen for cards. That's what 4 now from the Great Hand.
Yeah, these are very quick players, and they've
They know what
I
they're
think
doing.
this has taken longer to pile on these attachments and do go back and forth than it has the rest of the 3 breaks.
Oh, that's going to be painful. So 9 versus 7. Oh, brings a friend.
Just checking with Ronnie to make sure he can hear both of us. still,
Oh, I
still.
didn't realize is I always like it was fun talking to Ronnie at Worlds. He was very handy for giving me a very very good deck to play, which I didn't use. That was my own peril.
Yeah, Ronnie being Zuzatron, 2 people in the Discord league. So, okay, so we're starting off. We have a High House of Light used immediately so that Ichi can't be targeted by any kind of nasty events.
Yep.
Played by the Crane. Plus, he has 1 Finger of Jade that I can see on there, 2 Finger of Jade. So, I do not know what's touching this Ichi, but it's not much. He is the untouchable.
Well, what he
Kevin
wants to, he
Costner
could just
of,
be a mystic off the above question. It can't be above question.
Yep.
Well, was it just events that he's bubble shielded from?
From High House
Yes.
of Light,
And
yes.
Figure Jade.
So nobody's events are touching him. He's
Nope.
an island unto himself.
Yep. He's only got, well, theoretically, he's only got 5 to get to tie and 5 more to win the battle, and then 3 more to break the province after the Doji Challenger gets pulled in.
Yep.
Oh, there goes Quannon's.
Quanah gets the tower. Yeah, as you predicted, it goes on the Crane character. So can
Hit
dump
the
an
tower
honor to get rid of this.
because nothing's dishonoring you now, so you don't really care.
It's a really good trade for +3/+3 for dropping off
Yep.
3 stats.
Mom.
Oh, the double dragon tattoos are what's gonna make this a very high mountain for Crane to climb here. Just in terms of every card pumping things up, but.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest one is anything right now that he tries to play as a card is really just like going to be a +1/+1 benefit.
Mhm.
He's halfway through the deck. You have to assume he's got at least 1, if not 2, Voice of Honors. I don't think I've seen one in his discard.
Mm-hmm. I'll double check that. So we get the.
Yep, there goes the above question.
Get rid of the above question. Yeah.
This is that classic of I'm very surprised. Well, I guess he's got the favorable ground to move in the Courtier. But with the esteemed Tios, it's like, oh.
Yeah, we haven't seen any any Voice of Honors played yet out of Crane. So
Yeah.
likelihood they have it, but they'll have to choose which events they really care about.
Yeah. And the bigger problem is he's caught in that vice of he's got to commit big.
Thanks, Dave.
This. Oh, sorry. He's got to commit big in order to deal with Ichi because Ichi's just a pound stick at the moment, and he knows he has Mitsu sitting in the background.
Absolutely,
right?
Yeah.
Because Mitsu can just move in and I'm gonna just ring avoid this guy. I'm going to just use any ring I want as soon as I'm participating.
Absolutely, yeah. Like fire for a big swing. Certainly, lots of tools that Dragon has to make this daunting defense.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm sure our friend from the Netherlands is never going to say die. He's going to push it to the end. See if he can hold off this fight and then maybe turn things around.
Right now, it has turned around to the point where Ichi is now single-handedly winning the battle. The only thing that could be worse is, in theory, if that was actually Mitsu wearing all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But without it, it's still a nasty, nasty thing.
Now I know
Because
certainly this deck
oh,
is
sorry.
described to me as like, oh, Mitsu, and it's all Mitsu and you go. But this is the second game where I've seen Poogin focus on a different monk. I saw him do this in a previous win in the last round, I think, with a Tranquil Philosopher. So kind of opting, oh, didn't find Mitsu in first or second round. He's just going to go with a different monk and put it on the pressure as opposed to waiting and playing defensively.
Yep. Well, we know what he has at hand now, and we know one of them is. I can't believe he did not voice of honor unless he's trying to save them for void fists. But he didn't vote because a policy debate is just going to rip them out of your hand.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no point whatsoever in saving voice of honor for policy debate, like not using it there.
Yeah, I can see that for sure. Because if it was the one to go, it's going to be the one to go regardless. Plus, he gets hand knowledge and he gets
Yeah.
Dragon Tattoo trigger. So I understand. Yeah, that makes sense to use them there. Perhaps he was thinking that for a possible bonsai or for some big military pump. I'm not sure.
Well, right now it's if you're looking at the crane hand, he's got the only card he has of any consequences are the void of honor because the bonsai got ripped out.
Yeah, that's a good point. Brian, if you remember, it was the Obsidian Talisman we were talking about, which actually made it no honor.
Yeah.
You couldn't. The Kaizen got honored as a result of the policy debate.
Yeah.
So there was actually no one to voice. Now there is, but it may be too late.
Oh no, he still had the Kaizen. Oh, not anymore.
Not anymore.
Okay.
Now this the second of two Obsidian Talismans are down there. Just to catch up everyone on the stats. I mean, there's a ton of cards being played very rapidly here. We're now 15 to 15 on the attack on the stronghold. The Smuggler's Cove brother. Oh no, sorry, it was disguised. And the Void Ring. So winning, Dragon is winning, but not breaking currently.
Yes, and he can't send anybody home because if anybody does leave, it's probably going to cost him that. So I'm looking here what he's got left. So he's got, luckily, he's got tons of stuff for the political battle. Oh, another policy debate, just in time.
Yeah, and there's been no Void Fist played yet.
No.
And military-wise, we're looking at 15. Well, obviously 15 for this one, Itchy being the only guy there. So he can certainly Void Fist anyone he wants out of the conflict.
Yeah. I think Kiwanet's going homebound. You know, it's very improper, but it's like when Void Fist came back off the restricted list, it shows what a difference one powerful card makes. Especially not because of Void Fist being exceptionally crazy, but because it's one of the few cards that has the send home and bow effect on it.
So we see the duelist training being taken by the policy debate. Interesting choice for me. Is he planning to bring in the Mitsu if he has to? I mean, currently this duelist training would not bow this Ichi in anyone's dreams, but maybe he didn't. I mean, we're talking about ornate fans, political rivals, return the offenses, and like none of this other stuff is particularly useful either. I mean, the voices maybe depending on what Poogin has in hand. So, and then we see the policy debate be discarded the other way. And I don't know. There might have been a closer on the political. I think it was 8 still. There's no successful policy debate the other way either.
Nope. So he can't play policy debate. He can't play political rival. Well, I guess he could play policy debate when Mitsu's there. And there's the Void Fist, which puts a break situation on the table.
Yep.
And I don't think he's got any way to recover based on what we've seen in his hand from that point.
We definitely know what's in the hand. And given that the Obsidian talent, like who would have thought it? We thought they were just an interesting.
I mean, the only thing he could do is he could sacrifice a. No, he can't because the box hasn't even been used.
Yeah.
So if he had to use the box, then potentially he had the ability to. A second Void Fist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Obsidian Talismans really swung that hard. I mean, they turned off 3 Voice of Honors in hand.
Yes.
With that, and of course kicking in 2 honor too. But That was a very well played game. That was a very high amount, like high momentum usage, and just keeping the pressure on and on and on with this giant Ichi for Canada and Dragon. So congratulations to Zach. Well played by Kikita Sito. And that's the first game in Canada versus Netherlands under their belt. Canada's 1-0 up, but I'm sure all the other games will be exciting and tense. So
Yeah.
keep
Well, they
watching as
have
much
what,
World Cup
two
as you can.
mirrors this round?
Sorry?
They have what, two mirrors this round? In the
Three
round with the
mirrors,
Netherlands?
actually.
Three mirrors. Oh,
Yeah.
yes. Well, that's going to make for some very interesting action on your channel.
So thank you for co-casting, Brian, and thanks for being the person who talked for half of it while I was screwed up my technical and wasn't there. Thanks to everyone for watching, and yeah, watch as many games of World Cup as you can. All right, talk to you guys later.
Take care.